Hello everyone, this is Minute Plus Meditation here. It is Wednesday, August the 14th, the feast of St. Maximilian Kolbe. Continue with the book of the prophet Ezekiel. We're in chapter 9 now. The Lord cried in my hearing with a loud voice, saying, "Draw near, you executioners of the city, each with its destroying weapon in his hand." And 6 men came from the direction of the upper gate, which faces north. A little further down, to the others he said in my hearing, "Pass through the city after him and kill. Your eye shall not spare, and you shall show no pity. And begin at my sanctuary." So they began with the elders who were in front of the house. Then the Lord said to them, "Defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go." So they went out and killed in the city. So this sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? And I don't know what happened in the physical realm, but in the spiritual, supernatural realm, the people are actually reaping the consequences of their sin. This is for the children of Israel. This is not the pagans. This is, God is, why does God do this to his people? It would seem odd. Huh? And yet it isn't, because he has to purify them. First of all, they are offending him, and there's always consequences to our sin, period. But he's also needing to purify them because they're supposed to actually draw the pagans back home. And they're acting worse than the pagans. So God has to purify his children so that they will perform their rightful task here in this world, if it's ever going to happen. And there is a remnant, of course, but, God goes through this basically calling everybody to account. And, everybody has to experience the consequences of their decisions. So this is what happens. Defile the house. Well, the house is the temple. And fill the courts with the slain. So, Jerusalem thought that it was basically almost indestructible because God had made a covenant with Jerusalem. And they were going to find out this was not the case. Everybody pays a price or experiences the consequences of their actions, for good or for evil. It's always important to remember. Okay, over to the book of the Gospel of Matthew. We're into chapter 18 now. Jesus said to his disciples, "If your brother or sister sins against you, go and point out the fault when the two of you are alone. If your brother or sister listens to you, you have regained that one. But if you are not listened to, take 1 or 2 others along with you, so that every word may be confirmed by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses." So what is our Lord getting at here? Forgiveness and fraternal correction. So these are 2 things that are so difficult. They've always been difficult because of pride, because of cowardice, because of the sin of human respect. So we fear to give it and we hate to receive it. And yet it is necessary to expose the poison of defects in sins, which can corrode friendships, human society, families, and so on. The presbyterate, the episcopacy, nobody is exempt from this. And so, if your brother or sister sins against you, go and point out the fault. So there's fraternal correction. And there's a way to do this. You just don't announce it from the housetops, but you go to that person in private, give them the opportunity so you don't shame them. You've prayed about it. You've asked your angels to intercede for you. You make the correction on yourself first, but then eventually you go to that person. And most of the time, the quicker the better, so that things don't begin to settle and then maybe percolate and get worse. But so this is a fairly quick process, where you reflect, you pray, you ask the angels to intercede for you, and then you ask to see the person in private and you bring this up to them. So, and you pray that you'll say it right, it'll be received right, and so on. And it's probably always going to sting. The odd person actually receives it very well. Maybe they're a feedback junkie, or maybe they've developed the spiritual discipline of really understanding and wanting the effectiveness of fraternal correction to be practiced. You and I need to be open to giving fraternal correction and receiving it for the betterment of ourselves. So it is the Lord's teaching. So strive to practice it. It's never going to be easy. God bless you.